So you're looking to move to North Idaho and you're thinking Post Falls or Coeur d'Alene? Which one is the better choice? Well, it may depend on what stage of life you're in or what you just like altogether. So we're going to look at these cities side by side to see what the better choice is. Now make sure you stick around to the end because one of them is the clear winner as far as being more conservative. So let's check it out, shall we? What's up guys, it's Bryan Ingham with Ingham Realty. Welcome to another episode of Enjoy Living in North Idaho, where I talk about and show you all of North Idaho. So if you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. Today we're comparing the cities of Post Falls and Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Let's look at the location of these towns. They are right next to each other. They share a border. And so like me, for instance, I live in Post Falls. I'm 5 minutes from Coeur d'Alene. However, from downtown Post Falls to downtown Coeur d'Alene is about 15 minutes away. So they're right next to each other. Post Falls borders the state of Washington. So you're closer to Spokane and all that over there and closer to the airport. So you have that advantage. But some people maybe want to be farther away from the border. Coeur d'Alene, of course, is on Lake Coeur d'Alene and it's partly on the Spokane River. And Post Falls has the Spokane River running right through it. Let's look at the downtowns and development. So Coeur d'Alene is a really old downtown, but beautiful, picturesque downtown. And you have the resort there, which they do a ton of events for the community downtown all throughout the year. So they got a really good thing going on. Post Falls, they don't have much of a downtown, but they've been continually building things and growing their downtown. And so they're kind of revitalizing the area and continues to grow. And speaking of growth, Post Falls is growing at about 3 times the rate of Coeur d'Alene. So Coeur d'Alene is mostly developed, but Post Falls still has a lot of space out on the prairie area, which they've been building a ton, which a lot of people like me don't really like that, but hey, it's going to fill up eventually. The populations right now of these towns, Coeur d'Alene is around 60,000 and Post Falls is about 50,000. But at the current growth rate in Post Falls, it's probably going to catch up and overtake it because Post Falls is one of the fastest growing cities in the nation. Coeur d'Alene, especially the downtown, just seems to be growing upward with more high-rises, which again, another thing, don't really care for, but it is what it is. But Post Falls, they have a lot of development areas in different areas all around Post Falls, like close to the border, off of the 41 highway. You got the Millworks area. You got all these different areas that keep expanding. Let's look at some of the amenities that these towns have to offer. So Coeur d'Alene has the big lake, so you can do all kinds of water activities and water sports and stuff on the beach there. But Post Falls also has the Spokane River running through it, and so you can do all the same water activities and boating there. And the thing is, the Spokane River flows out of Lake Coeur d'Alene, so from Post Falls you can boat the whole Coeur d'Alene Lake and go back to your Post Falls home. They both have a lot of great parks as well. You got the downtown park in Coeur d'Alene and beach there. You have McEwen Park and you have Tubbs Hill right there at McEwen Park, which is a great place to hike. And you also have the Riverstone and Atlas development on the Spokane River. So beautiful parks there. But Post Falls, you got a lot of nice parks as well. You got Quemlin Park, which is right on the river. You've got Kiwanis Park, which is right on the river. You got Black Bay Park right on the river. So both of them have great parks. And the thing is because these towns are so close together, like me, I go to Coeur d'Alene parks all the time and Post Falls parks and vice versa. So it's all right here for everyone. Coeur d'Alene has the bigger hospital, Kootenai Hospital, which is a trauma center there, level 2 trauma center. So they have the better medical facilities. But Post Falls, they have a whole medical district and tons of specialty medical services, which I utilize, me and my family, all the time right there in Post Falls. Kootenai Hospital, for me, is only like 10 minutes away from my house, so it's all right there for you. Both towns have tons of shopping and restaurants, so in Post Falls, you're not going to feel cheated. The only thing they don't have in Post Falls that Coeur d'Alene does have is Costco. But again, I jump on the 90 freeway, I'm there in like 10 minutes, so it's right there. And then as far as all the delicious restaurants, sometimes I eat in Post Falls, sometimes I eat in Coeur d'Alene, so everything is right there. So both towns have a lot of the same activities. You can boat and hike and fish and hunt, and both of them have nice golf courses, and both of them are close to a few ski resorts in other towns not too far away. Now, I'd say there's a little bit of difference on the peoples because Coeur d'Alene is more of a resort town, so you're going to get a lot more tourists over there. They both have a lot of families. I've highlighted some nice family neighborhoods in Coeur d'Alene as well as Post Falls, but I would say that Post Falls is a little more family focused than Coeur d'Alene, which focuses on a lot of tourism. So in the Coeur d'Alene area, you may also get some more retirees and maybe even some more of the hipsters that love to live the downtown life in a high rise and just walk to the coffee shops and restaurants right there. But you know, it all depends on where you're at in life. The cost of living between the two towns is pretty similar, except Post Falls is going to be a little cheaper on the homes, with the median price being $525, where median price in Coeur d'Alene is $600,000. It's probably because Coeur d'Alene has some more expensive neighborhoods, because with the big lake, you're going to have a lot more view homes, waterfront homes. But as far as waterfront, with that whole Spokane River, there's a ton of big, beautiful homes in Post Falls all along that river. So both have some nice waterfront. Both have some areas with some acreage properties if that's what you're looking for. But as far as like regular family neighborhoods, regular tract homes, they're definitely building a lot more of those in Post Falls. So also you're going to have a lot more newer homes in Post Falls as they keep building them there. I'm going to talk about a couple other things and the politics of this town in a minute. But first, if you guys are thinking about moving to North Idaho or one of these beautiful towns here like Post Falls or Coeur d'Alene, please give me a call, send me text, email. I'd love to answer any questions that you have. I've been helping people buy and sell real estate for over 20 years now, and I'd just love to guide you. All right, so now what you've been waiting for, the politics of these two towns. Now, both are very conservative. This whole area, Kootenai County and North Idaho and Idaho in general, is very conservative. So there's only about 10% Democrat in Kootenai County. So it's mostly Republicans here. However, we just had an election here for mayors of both Post Falls and Coeur d'Alene. And Post Falls has definitely proven to be the way more conservative area here. Now, all of these candidates are considered conservative, but there's definitely some better than others. So the one we just hired here in Post Falls to be mayor, Randy Westland, very family focused, very family oriented, focused on morality, God, and freedom. Where the mayor they just hired in Coeur d'Alene, Dan Gukin, is freedom focused, which is a good thing, but he seems to be focused on freedom at the expense of the family and morality. He also seems to be anti-religious and denies that this ever was a Christian nation. I'm not going to get into the details of the immoral things that he is for. I learned all this stuff from all his tweets from the last year, which you can probably Google this stuff if you really wanted to. So I'm not saying that Coeur d'Alene is ruined or that it's a bad place to live. it's still increasingly becoming more and more Republican as people flee places like California, Oregon, Washington, Colorado, and are coming here in droves, making it more Republican. However, what happened is, why would they vote in a guy like this? Well, there's only like a 22% voter turnout in Coeur d'Alene, I heard, and it's only like 28% in the county, which is really sad. So those on the left and the less conservative Republicans are out there loud and voting, but all these people that think, hey, I moved here, this is the Republican Mecca, I can just sit back and do nothing now. That's not true. If you move here, you need to vote. You cannot just retire here and be lazy. All right, I'll get off my soapbox for now. Just a couple quick more things about these towns. The weather's going to be very, very similar, and both have really low crime. In fact, I think I read something that Idaho is now like the lowest crime state in the nation. So it's a pretty amazing place to live here. So which town do you think is best for you? It's a win-win, I think, if you even move to any of these towns in North Idaho. But I would say Post Falls is a little more family-oriented, and so I would choose that for families. But hey, if you're in a different stage of life, you want some more of the action in downtown Coeur d'Alene, then maybe that's the place for you. However, again, I can go downtown in 10 minutes from where I live in Post Falls, but I choose to live here with my family. So let me know what you guys think about these towns below in the comments. If you guys like this video, please hit the like and subscribe button. That way you'll be notified of all my new videos when they come out. I'm putting out new videos every week showcasing the whole area of North Idaho. All right, I'll see you on the next one. Bye.